Hello and welcome to this webinar by WebEngage. My name is Avantika Pandey and I am the Senior Content Marketer at WebEngage and your moderator for today's webinar. Before we get started, here are a few housekeeping topics. First, you will be on the listen-only mode. Second, we'll be recording this session. This recording will be made available to you in a couple of days. Third, we'll have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. But if you have any query during the session, you can put your questions in the comment box below and we'll address them later. Now, as most of you know, WebEngage is a marketing cloud that helps businesses engage and retain with their existing users. More than 45,000 companies are automating their cross-channel communication across web page, mobile, email, SMS, and other digital channels with WebEngage. Now, at WebEngage, we work very closely with our clients even after their initial setup stage. Over the years, we have realized that there is a dire need for them to upgrade their concepts in retention marketing. You ask why? Well, because consumers are evolving and so are their expectations. And the only way to meet their needs and to win their loyalty is by mastering the art of retention marketing. In this webinar, our senior product specialist, Ishan Banatwala, will explain why we should change the way we approach retention marketing and how you can achieve it with WebEngage. Over to you, Ishan.
Thank you so much, Avantika, for all the introductions. Hey, folks, a very good afternoon. I think I'll just first focus on the whole agenda for this particular webinar. We'll start with the retention marketing one-on-one. Then we'll focus on why consumer and businesses need the retention marketing, followed by why you should actually stop marketing and start engaging, and then introducing WebEngage. The last part would be the Q&A session with our co-founder, which is Avlay Singh. Now, what exactly is retention? Now, when you just go by the definition, it refers to the ability of a company to retain its customers over some specified period. But from what I have seen, companies still focus a lot on acquisition, and retention as a terminology is yet to be explored in its full strength. From acquisition, you can definitely increase your user base and achieve short-term goals. However, if you are unable to retain your customers through engagement retention strategies, your profits are definitely short-lived. Now, when you talk about retention marketing, now it's all about creating the engaged customers that return to your business to shop again. But the most important part of a customer journey is actually to get them to make the repeat purchases, right? Hence, the retention marketing is really crucial to increase your business longevity and overall conversion rates, hereby your business growth. To achieve this, you need to first understand your customer journey mapping, and second, learn how to communicate with the customers at the right moments. Moving on, why is there a dire need for the consumer businesses to actually do the retention marketing? So when you focus on that, it's basically once the customer has made their first purchase, the next intention should be to get them to either make a purchase of a higher value or make the frequent purchases. Now, the solution for that would be that several communication channels can be used to keep getting the customer back to the website or app. However, while they are on the website or app, using the appropriate nudges will help not only to retain the customer, but also increase the value and frequency of the purchases. So if you see this graph on the right hand side, the current benchmark numbers that you can see out here, if you see this, these are the average numbers. Now the first purchase is relatively high because you must have done a lot of acquisitions to the UTM campaigns and so many other set of social campaigns or so. But when it comes to your second purchase, if you see this, it's literally less than half of the first purchase that you're doing. So this is a very big problem that actually marketers or the product guys or any of the businesses currently face out here. Then it comes to your third purchase, which is obviously more low, and go to the fourth purchase. Now, once the user has actually gone to the fourth purchase, it ultimately goes into your loyalty period or the loyalty program that you have. With the data points and the personalized information, you can actually run this lifecycle campaigns and help improve your first to second order, second to third order, third to fourth order, and so on. There are multiple ways this can be achieved. Upselling, cross-selling users to increase the value of the next purchase can be one such way. Then customers may drop off either after their first order or after placing multiple orders. So it is imperative for any business to engage with its customers and win them back. Solution here lies in first, you're understanding your customers' pain points. Now, customers love to be heard and given the importance. So incentivize them to share their experience and give them a reason to return. Second, making high value but inactive customers transact again is of maximum importance. When you talk about the global consumer trends, what exactly the user retention, what drives the user retention? So if you see this, there are four metrics which actually drives your whole user retention part, which is your exclusive offers, your loyalty program, your listen to feedback, your customized promotions. But if you see this, 3 out of the 4 drivers of the user retention actually need a marketing automation solution to drive this whole thing and ultimately get the most out of this metrics that we have defined out here. Now, in terms of the demographics that you talk about, these are few of the average numbers in terms of what drives your highly advanced users to the users who are just your early starters or early bloomers. When you talk about the challenges faced by marketers across industries, right? Now, one of the major challenges faced by the marketers is to keep the users engaged in their whole life cycle. So when you talk about the engagement, sending powerful and contextually relevant content at regular intervals is a key success metric. Now, when dealing with the millions, the manual personalization becomes literally impossible, leads to higher churn rate and your cart abandonment rate. And that definitely would answer the question in few minds of why having a third-party vendor to focus on engagement retention strategies through a marketing automation stack and not a build an in-house solution. Now, from where I'm coming from here, a lot of tech-focused companies always tend to think of building such a solution rather than having third-party vendor. However, they have eventually turned to a full-blown automation stack like us to help them out. Primary reason? It's not in your DNA, it's ours. You don't want to continuously rely on your tech folks for small marketing activities. For us, we have expertise in marketing automation space and we keep abreast to the latest trends in the market and keep adapting to it so that our end customer gets a flexible and advanced product for user engagement and retention. Now, we have won the in-house versus WebEngage battle at companies like Flipkart, GoIbibo, Myntra, and so on, who started building a solution at their end, but eventually rolled back since they realized that idea was not scalable. And I can go on and on with so many other reasons of why not having an in-house part and actually having a particular marketing automation stack to help you out in all your engagement retention strategies. And I think the stats say it all. If you see this out here, due to the incorrect personalization, 25% customers drop off in the first go and are annoyed with the brand as a whole. When you talk about the second part, 31% users uninstall the app after 2 to 3 push notifications within its week. The reason? They are all mass blast and not targeted based on the customer's behavior, due to which they receive irrelevant pushes. Now, when you talk about the personalization part, I think I have already mentioned that how personalization and the contextual information sent out to the customers can help you out, right? So if you see this, 66% marketers can't do the personalization right now due to the lack of data or technology to send the relevant communication. So when you talk about having And in-house part, it's very difficult for you to have the personalized set of communication sent out to each and every customer just on a manual basis. It's actually impossible. Coming to the part, why you should stop marketing and start engaging. Now, I think one of the this basically would come to the part where how to justify your marketing spends and ROI. Now, businesses struggle to justify the whole customer acquisition spends due to the low repeat purchases. Now, I'm pretty sure that the cost of acquisition is something which is obviously high, and as a marketer, you would understand that. So, if you're not able to retain your customers, ultimately that cost is going to increase again, and ultimately your ROI is not going to be that much, ultimately reducing your whole overall conversion rates and your overall set of business profits. Having a single product, which I've seen with so many clients I've already spoken and worked with, and I've seen that most of the businesses right now do their marketing in silos via multiple tools for email, SMS, on-site, mobile marketing. Now, the problem is having all these things in silos creates a lot of problems when you actually want to see the analytics, when you actually want to understand how to do the whole cross-channel set of a communication. So having a single product for all these things and analytics on the top of it is something that actually would help you out in gaining more insights and having more engagement and retention practices out there. I think the last part, the third part has already been covered in what I just said. And the last part is always engage with the users on one-on-one on a large scale, which is obviously your personalization part. Your contextual personalized message always drives your user conversion rate, your open rates, your click rates, everything. And that I'm saying with my experience of what I have seen across the different clients. Coming to the part why you should start engaging and stop marketing with WebEngage. When you talk about WebEngage, well, it's basically a marketing automation cloud, and which can we can automate your whole marketing and manage your retention by optimizing all the channels. Now, what we use out here is the segmentation piece and the personalization piece that basically would drive your whole strategies across different channels. So if you see this, there's an overview of what we are all about in terms of the analytics engine, which consists of your users, segments, events, funnels, cohorts, revenue, and uninstalls. When you talk about the engagement platform, we have all the channels of engagement along with the analytics on the top of it, which consists of your push notifications and in-app for the app part. SMS and email, again, are your offline parts of it. On-site, which is your website overlays, which combines with your triggered set of notifications, surveys, or feedback that you actually want to define, and your browser push notifications. Now you combine all these things together in this cross-channel orchestration engine, or what we call it as the journey designer. It's nothing but a whiteboard where you just create your flows based on the different behavior that the user performs. Now, what we have done for so many clients across the globe out here, and I'll just try to focus on few of the examples out there with regards to the different industries. So when I talk about the retail and e-commerce, it's a very subjective term, right? E-commerce means it actually takes in all the online businesses. But I'm right now focusing on basically those set of businesses which are selling some sort of products, and that products would more or less define your more B2C side of the strategies, right? So when you talk about Flipkart, eBay, Souq.com, or even on the Chayos part. So when I talk about retail, in fact, for Chayos, what we have been doing is they have almost 98% of offline transactions going on and only 2% contributing to the online part. So what do we exactly do for them? We have been able to actually reduce their whole drop cart rates and their cross-sell transactions, even their repeat purchases, just with our different set of engagement strategies that they're using and gaining them based on the analytics that they are able to see, right? So if you see this, we have been able to, on an average for all these clients, we have been able to, recover almost like 20% of the drop cards, increase by 15% in the cross-sell transactions, 12% increase in the 60-day repeat purchase, which in fact, for some of the clients, we already have public case studies, which you'll be able to see of how exactly we are able to increase that and the kind of strategies that they have actually, defined over there. And when you talk about the increase in frequency, now your recency, frequency, and the monetary value, right? Now, increase in frequency basically helps you out in having more retention rate, because when your customers are again coming on your platform repeatedly, then ultimately you have a higher chance of gaining more retention rate and hereby more conversion rates. The same thing that we have done for travel, OTA, hospitality. There are multiple metrics that you can see out here. For Go Ibibo, for flying, for Jet Airways, and for Taj also. Now, in fact, for the Go Ibibo, just using personalization, using the API level data fetching from their systems and using it for their different set of metrics, has been able to increase their whole conversion rates by almost like 22%. And in fact, we are contributing. I can easily flaunt that we have been able to contribute a lot of like the revenue of GoIbibo through WebEngage. So if you see this is the kind of things that we have been doing for so many clients in terms of the drop cards recovered, your cross-sell transactions, your 60-day repeat purchase, your increase in the frequency. Now, when you talk about the fintech part, there obviously the metrics would be slightly different, because you're focusing on your lead generation, your nurturing, your premium payments have been paid or not, based on the different kind of businesses that we're talking about. But I think for most of the players like DSP BlackRock and Aviva, or you talk about ACO, HDFC Life, there have been literally a lot of improvement in terms of the lead generations through our on-site pieces, through our cross-channel set of communications through journeys, and multiple set of things other than that that actually goes into it. So in fact, there was a 10% increase in the repurchases. So this is all of the metrics that we have been able to do for so many clients across these different industries. Now, when you talk about WebEngage, obviously, as a client or as a prospect, you would like to understand how exactly it's easy to integrate with our system, right? So, rather than going into details about more of it, I would just try to focus on all your ecosystem that actually goes into it, which is your websites, mobiles, or any third-party CRM system, LMS, or your data warehouse, anything. You can just directly integrate with us through multiple strategies that we have. And there are almost like 6 to 7 ways that you can actually integrate with us, and very easier ways. And in the DMP part, we basically provide you with the user profile, user behavior, device data, transaction, catalog. And the whole automation engine is something that we actually goes into it, where your communication engine, your personalization engine, and your segmentation engine comes into picture and provides you with a whole multi-channel campaign orchestration, which is the journeys, where you can create multiple set of campaigns based on your set of rules that you want to define, or the segmentation or the personalization that you want to define. So this is all a part of the WebEngage Marketing Cloud on an overview part. I think more or less this is how, I don't want to go into details about it, but yes, this is why basic 45K plus consumer businesses like WebEngage, and I like this has been something that we have been doing for so many clients, and we have been changing the whole scenario in terms of the engagement retention for them. So these are the few of the things why people actually like us more and more. In fact, we have capital links, we have the public case studies where we have been able to do so many things for our clients. So more or less, this is what I had to say. I think that's it for today from my side. We'll start with the Q&A session. I think we'll just give you a couple of minutes to time you in a question, and then ultimately we'll start addressing the questions. Okay, we'll start addressing the questions now. So I think I got one of the questions, which is I'm a product manager of a subscription service-based business. Is WebEngage for me? So it's I think the B2B side of it.
Sure. Before I answer the question, my name is Ablesh. I'm a co-founder at WebEngage, and it's a privilege to be here with you guys. Thanks a bunch for attending the webinar. As far as subscription businesses go, whether you are on the B2B subscription side or B2C subscription side, retention is one of the key challenges that you need to solve. And the straight answer is that yes, WebEngage is useful for you. The modus operandi is a function of what exactly is the nature of the business, what are the renewal cycles like, and what is the ongoing engagement scenarios like. I'd be able to give you more specific answer, but at a superficial level, yes, you could use WebEngage for your retention.
Great. So I think that should answer the question. The second question that has come here is, what all things should I keep in mind while looking out for the marketing cloud?
Okay, this is going to be a long one. Just a small plug here. We are publishing a blog post and a ebook very soon, just focused on this topic. The answer is not a simple one, but there are multiple things. I think the topmost criteria is what kind of a business you are. B2B versus B2C, there are very different things that you need to do depending upon who is your customer. The other consideration sets they go on from what channel of communications apply to your business. Are the communication channels limited to email or the traditional SMS channels, the text messaging channels, or your business is all poised to leverage, let's say, the new age channels like browser push? Your choices will vary. If you have mobile as a distribution strategy, if your consumers are using your mobile app, then you essentially you need to look for a multi-channel marketing automation suite, which comes with its own set of nuances, because you want to tie your users together across two different platforms. So as I said, the answer is not a straightforward one. I have your name here. We'll have you notified when we publish our ebook, which is largely around how to choose the right tool for your the right automation tool for your platform. I'm pretty sure you'll find it useful.
Thank you so much, Avlesh, for explaining that. The third question that we have, the final question for now, since we are running out of time. So this is where he's asking basically that I didn't understand the stop marketing and start engaging. Can you explain again?
Well, that's a thesis that that we thought would be a very nice message to spread the word around optimizing the use of retention platforms like WebEngage. What we have seen with our experience is the fact that most marketing today, whether you do retention marketing or you try and improve engagement, a lot of that ultimately boils down to the fact that marketers resort to bulk messaging as their core modus operandi. This is like every morning somebody gets up at 9 a.m., composes an email, and sends out to thousands and thousands of users. What we believe at WebEngage is that essentially is a very flawed way of running marketing, let alone retention and engagement marketing. And what we think is needed is a paradigm shift wherein marketers get more and more trained on how to leverage platforms like WebEngage, wherein the idea is to move away from bulk messaging to more sort of triggered communication, more of a workflow-based communication, and more in the way that you start differentiating between a good user versus an average user versus a bad user. And when you start making those distinctions, the workflows of engagement, the way you talk to your consumers, they change. And when that changes, you'll definitely see your engagement scores going up, and you see much better retention on your platform. We'll write more on this. We have this thesis. We recently hosted a very nice one-day event called Engagement on this, and we'll continue to build up on this thesis. Again, I have your name, and Ishan and team are going to send you a bunch of collateral around this. Thank you again. I think we're running out of time. I'm getting those signals. So thanks everyone for attending the webinar, and look forward to work with you guys.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for attending this webinar. Have a good day. See you in the next one.